Hey everyone, in this tutorial we're gonna learn how to model parametric louvers like this.
Now you can download all the source files from the Patreon page and it is going to be for free for the next 6 months.
So without further ado, let's start. So I'll start by going to the top view, so double click to maximize the top view, and I'm going to draw a line, and you can press F8 to open or close also. I'm going to open it, and let's set the length of the line to 40 meters, then click, and right click to finish the command. Now let's rebuild this line to add to it more control points. So rebuild it and set the points to 6 and the degree to 3. It's okay. Let's start moving the control points a little bit to have something more dynamic. Maybe something like this. So right now I'm working on the mass first. So let's go to the layer and let's create a new layer and name it mass. And inside it, let's create a sublayer and another sublayer. The first one, let's rename it curves. Let's give it maybe a red color. And the second one, let's name it surface. And let's give it black. I'm going to make the first letter capital. Okay. So now let's draw the profile that we're going to use. I'm going to choose 3-point rectangle. So let the length of the building is going to be maybe some kind of small building, maybe 15 meters, and the height maybe 10. Okay, I did the height 8 actually. For 8 meters, and if you want to change the height, you can select it and came here and choose scale in one direction and type the height you want. Anyway, I think I will make it 10 meters, and I will exclude this. I will show you why I will exclude it. Now let's use sweep. So to be able to use sweep, I first need to orient these curves on this one. So select all these curves and type orient on curve, choose a base point, then select the curve, and here choose perpendicular, so we have it perpendicular like this. Okay, Control Z. By the way, the first thing we need to make sure that always record history is set on. So we have to come here, right click, and choose always record history. Make sure to set it on to be able to edit the design after we finish the modeling. So now let's select all these curves, type orient on curve, select the base, select the curve, set copy to yes, and set perpendicular. Let's place it here and right click. So now let's type sweep, choose the rail, choose a file, right click to bring the command again, choose the rail, file, right click again and again. But I think I need to organize every single layer, so type SLCRV to select all the curves, and let's come here in the properties and let's place them in the curves layer. And for these surfaces, let's select them and place them in the surface layer. Let's choose the surface layer because there are remaining surfaces that we are going to create. We want them to be placed in the surface layer. So type sweep on rail, select the rail, select the curve, right click, rail. Okay, now we have our mass. We can now select the curve, lock this one, and if we select this curve, when we start moving the curve, as you can see, the mass will update. Same thing here. We move everything like this, the mass will update. But we broke the history of the. Select everything, press F10, and let's move things like this maybe. It will break the history of this profile. So now if we make any adjustment here, it's not going to be reflected, but it is not a big problem anyway. Okay, now let's start modeling the facade. So let's create a layer and name it facade. Let's create a sublayer, another sublayer, another sublayer, and another sublayer. The first layer I'm going to name it curves 1, and second one curves 2. Let's give this maybe blue color, and this one maybe magenta. And another layer, let's name it surface. So, and another one, let's name it base surface. And another one for the louvers. Let's give this maybe some kind of color like this. Okay, so I will start with the base surface. I'm going to draw a base surface. Make sure the base surface, the height of the base surface is going to be the same height as this one. So this one is 10 meters. So I'm going to draw a 3-point rectangle. Let's set the height to 10 meters and the length to maybe 50 meters. Will be fine. Now let's choose curves 1, and let's also draw a 3-point rectangle. Let's draw a point here, and let's hold Control and press tab to switch between view. Let's switch to any side view, and let's draw the height maybe 0.5 meters. Okay, so double click to minimize the view and double click to maximize the perspective. Let's select this curve and explode it. Now let's select this one and type rebuild and set the control point to 6. Okay, so select everything and press Ctrl J to join. So now I can select this curve, press F10 to open the control points and start modifying the control points like this. So now I'm going to make a few copies. So choose copy and let's maybe place a copy here, 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 and here. Now I want to purge history of these 4 curves. So type purge, type history purge, select these 4 curves, right click. So now if I made any adjustment here, it's not going to be reflected to these curves. So now I'm going to create a loft surface. So choose this surface and let's type loft. Select this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Then right click again. And here is our loft surface. So now I'm going to select these curves and lock this one and lock the base surface too. If I start selecting all these curves, let's press F10. Let's switch to the maybe ghost mode and start adjusting the profile. As you can see, the surface will update directly since we were recording a history when we model it. Let's do something like this maybe. Take this down, take this up a little bit. Okay, yeah, let's start with something like this. So let's switch to the shaded again. Let's unlock. By the way, in the ghost mode, if we lock this object, as you can see that if we lock this one, the color didn't change, but we can change this in the setting. If we type option and we came to the view, display, we came to the maybe ghost mode. In the object, in the locked object, you can check apply this setting to layer. So now the locked object is going to be dark like this. So we know now that these objects are locked. Anyway, let's switch to the shaded mode for now. And let's unlock this object. Now let's select this layer. So I'm going to create the louvers right now. So I'll select the layer of the curves and select this one. And let's type contour. And select this point. And in this let's make it in this direction. And the spacing between them, let's set maybe 1 meter. And then let's choose the louvers layer. And let's extrude all of them by moving them using this circle to a distance of maybe 0.3. So here we go. If I hide this surface and also hide these curves, and let's select this curve and look this one. Now all the louvers will update. If you did any adjustment here, as you can see, the louvers will update. It's very powerful. By the way, you can find the contour command here, or you can just type contour. Anyway, now since we created our louvers, we want to map these louvers into this surface. So I'm going to, let's unlock these surfaces. Let's unlock these louvers. But now I want to select all these louvers and place them in one group. So I'm going to select this layer and choose select sublayer object or select layer object. And press Ctrl G, or you can group them from here. I'm going to press Ctrl G. So now all these louvers are in one group, which will make it selecting them easier. So to map these louvers into this surface, I'm going to use the command name flow along surface, which is this one. So I'm going to type flow along surface. So the first thing we need to do is select the object of flow along surface. So I'm going to select the louvers, then right click. Now we have to select the base surface, which is this one. So select this one. And now let's play a little bit with the setting. So let's set auto adjust to no. Preserved structure doesn't work with polished surfaces, so it doesn't matter actually. And copy yes, and rigid set to yes too. This will make it run faster. But we can only use this when the height is the same as this one. And group frame origin, okay, rigid group set it to no. Okay, now let's see, let's select the target surface and okay. So as you can see, since we set auto adjust to no, it didn't adjust the UV, but now we can adjust the UV manually. So I can select the surface and it came here to analyze direction or flip direction and start. Let's first swap U and V, right click. As you can see, it's adjusted. And I set it to auto adjust to no, so now we can start reverse direction. So now if I can reverse the direction like this or like this, I can adjust the direction by changing the UV directions of this surface. This is why I set it to no. So now we can look the louvers, and here is the amazing part now. If we did any adjustment to, let's look the surface too, any adjustment to this curve, for example, if I maybe start moving this up or something like this, as you can see, the louvers will keep following our design, maybe moving it, something like this. It starts looking like a worm or something. See, this is so weird. Let's press Ctrl Z. But anyway, you get the idea. We can start playing around. Yeah, this is so bad. This connection is so bad. Anyway, maybe changing the profile size a little bit and moving this more. Yeah, okay. And if we want to change the louvers, we can start playing around with this profile. Maybe moving this something like this. Or maybe even creating some kind of a gate by moving this up to have, yeah, maybe creating some gate or something in this part. This is where I'm going to move this down again. Let's move this up. Let's move this also up. We can scale it. Let's select the curve, double click to move the gumball. Let's move it maybe here, and let's start scaling it down like this. Also, create something more complex like this. You can start adding more control points. So for example, if we came here, we can come here and choose insert node and start adding few more control points here, and to be able to make the profiles more complex to get something like this. Okay, I want to show you something. If you have a mass with a different height, I will just draw it like now. Let's draw a line, 8, let's rebuild it. It's control point 6, to maybe something like this. And let's draw two profile, 3-point rectangle. So it's maybe 20 and height. Let's do 20 and second one. Let's create a copy, select it, hold Alt, let's select again and scale it. Maybe 5, okay. Now let's orient, let's exclude both of them. Let's select this one, type orient on curve, select the base point, select this one, should be perpendicular. Oh, okay, so let's set point, set it in Z to align it. Let's move the control point something like this. Now let's select this curve, type orient on curve, select the base point, select the curve, choose copy to yes, let's place one here. For this one also, orient on curve, select the base, select the curve, perpendicular, let's place it here, right click. Now let's create a surface, type sweep, select rail, profile 1, profile 2, right click, bring the command again, rail and profiles, right click, rails and profiles, right click, rails and profiles. So if we have a mass like this, if we, let's use the same louvers, if we type flow along surface, select the louvers, right click, select the base, and we kept rigid set as no, select it. As you can see, since rigid was set as no, now the louvers has been stretched to follow the shape. However, if I delete it and let's type flow along surface and select the louvers, right click and set rigid to yes, as we did it here, and select the base surface and then the target, it will take way less time to compute. However, it is not going to follow the surface. In this case, we were able to set rigid to yes because the height is constant, but here the height is not constant. This is why we have to use flow along surface and set rigid to no. It will take more time to compute, however, it is going to follow the shape correctly. And of course, now if we select the curves, select CRV, and look at, now we can start, press F10, we can start modifying the shape. But let's move it something simple like this. What? Where is it maybe? Let's press Ctrl Z again. I'm going to purge the history of these two. Now, then I moved this. Yeah, there's no weird stuff. Yes, so you get the idea. We can use rigid set it to yes when we have a constant height, but if we have a variable height like this, we will have to set it to no. Okay, now I want to show you how we can create the curtain wall. So I'm going to create a new layer. Let's name it curtain wall, and let's add two more sub layers, one for mullions and one for glass. Let's give this a layer, a color maybe something like this, and for the glass let's give it some blue color. Okay, now I'm going to, let's select the mullion and let's draw maybe a 3-point rectangle with a height of 10 meters, and the length is going to be, this color is not clear by the way, let's make it just black, maybe 0.4 and 0.1. This profile, let's draw the profile, the mullion again. Right click to bring the 3-point box again. The length is going to be 10 meters, the width is going to be 0.5, the height is going to be 0.15, yeah, something like this. And let's draw a glass panel. Select also 3-point box. Let's place the panel maybe here, and the height 0.02, and the length maybe 2 meters. By the way, I will need another profile in the middle, so hold Alt and move to create a copy. Let's rotate it, and let's move it from here and snap to the middle to go to the view better. So let's draw a line first here. Make sure that the middle is open. So our middle is here. So let's move this one something in here to be in the middle. Hold Ctrl Shift and move this face type move open project and move it something like this. Delete this curve. Let's hide the ISO curves. Double click, double click. I'm going to move this to the middle too. You can hold the control and zoom using the right click. Let's close project. Let's move this to the middle like this. I'm going to move, there is a thickness of the slab here, so I'm going to move this down maybe 0.5 and create a copy and move it up 1 meter. Let's create a pooling difference. This one, right click, and this two. So I have the separate panels. And now let's select all of this and choose linear array, maybe 15 or something. And let's press tab to fix the movement in this direction. And let's create another copy. Press tab to fix the movement in this direction and press it here. So this is our curtain wall. I'm going to maybe adding a few more panels. So select all these panels and choose copy. Let's move it. Press tab to fix the movement in this direction and let's move it here. Select all this mullion and glass and press Ctrl G to place them in one group. Now we're going to use flow along surface too. So I'm going to draw a base surface here. So let's go to this layer and draw a base surface here. 3-point surface and draw a surface in here maybe. Now I want to show you something. For this surface, I'm going to move it down. So the thickness of this, the height, or the thickness, the thickness of this mullions is 0.15. So I'm going to move this down by 0.15. So as you can see now we have enough spacing here to place a curtain wall. So let's unlock the surface. Select type flow along surface. Select the curtain wall. Right click. Select the base surface. Keep the setting as you adjusted before. Adjust no. Constrain normal no. Select the base surface. And now let's select the target surface. Okay, we will have to adjust this one. Switch to wireframe. I want to see what happened. Okay, yeah, this is so bad. Let's swap. Since we set rigid to yes, it only oriented the panels, the glass panels and the mullions on the surface, but it didn't stretch or change their form. This is why there is a gap between them. So to fix it, all we have to do is to set rigid to no. So type flow along surface, select the objects, select the base surface, set rigid to no, and select the target surface, and here we go. As you can see, it is adjusted. Okay, now all we need to do right now is adjusting the materials. So let's assign the materials by layer. So for the mullions, let's give it maybe a black mullions, and let's give it black color and add some glossiness and some reflection. It's okay. And for the glass, let's give it also custom material, name it glass 1. Let's give it some kind of a blue color, add some reflection, some glossiness, and some transparency. Press OK. And for the louvers, custom material, and let's give it some maybe brown metal bend, whatever. Anyway, something maybe like this. Give it some glossiness, some reflection, and press OK. So here we go. We have our design, and we can control it using only these curves. So if I came here, let's lock this surface and lock also the base surface. So the default is lock the base surface. Now we can start adjusting it very easily using this curve. Moving this something like this, or maybe moving this up to have some kind of. Or this looks so weird, but yeah. Here's the idea that we can start making any adjustment we want. And move these curves, maybe something like this, and so on. Also, if you want to change the shape of the louver, we can start changing it from here. But the only thing that we can change now is the spacing between the louvers. If we want to change the spacing, we will have to recreate it. So if I want maybe to reduce this spacing, so I'm going to unlock everything, or yeah, unlock it from here. I will have to delete this louvers, also delete this one, and we have the surface. So I'm going to select this layer. I will have to delete these curves too. So I'm going to select object, delete it, and type contour, and let's choose this point and in this direction, and the distance, let's set it maybe 0.5, maybe even 0.4, and then let's choose a louver layer and extrude it by spacing 0.15. Let's hide this layer and let's hide this layer. Let's come here to the louver layer and select object, Control G to make it group, and let's hide the curtain wall for now. So unlock this one and type flow along surface. Select this one, right click, select this one. Set rigid to yes. This will make it compute faster. Now the spacing is way smaller, and this is what we wanted to do. Now we can came to the curves layer and look, it shows a curtain wall. Now we can look all this stuff, just look it, and now we can start doing the adjustment that we want based on our design. Maybe moving this a little bit, selecting this one, double click to move the gimbal, moving it maybe something like this, start scaling it a little bit. It was better before. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for watching and see you later.